Hey, welcome to the check-in.
With the check-in twins.
We're the check-in twins.
So, we gotta get something out the way first.
Yes.
If you are having any mental health emergencies or issues, suicidal ideation, know that we are not medical or mental health
Not
professionals.
at all.
So if you need to hit this hotline, that is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Give them a call, give them a text if you need to.
If you need to. And one other thing, just a disclaimer, we are grown women, and sometimes we'll use some sentence enhancers to express ourselves, some explicit language. So it's not necessarily meant for the children. They could listen, they could learn. But sorry, mom, dad, pastor.
Also, while we shouting everybody out,
Yeah.
why don't you follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at
the Check-in Twins. All of them.
Come check in with us.
Come check in with us. Welcome to the check-in.
With a cosmic twin.
With a cosmic twin.
So, we don't have something as hefty as last week, but
Yeah.
it's still a little, it's like one of those heavy appetizers. Like,
Yeah.
you ate it and you're like, man, I probably shouldn't have ate that. Or like, oh, I shouldn't have had 3 bags of free bread.
Yeah.
But
This
what
is the
we talking
Bang Bang
about?
Shrimp.
What are we talking about today, Tom?
We're talking about, we're wrapping up our relationship series.
Yes.
So we're going to be
Rudy
in
Rat-
part 3 talking about boundaries with friends and family. So on that note,
On that note, friend.
no, don't start with me.
Okay, I go first.
How you doing, friend?
Friend. So I'm gonna just tackle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tackle boundaries with friends,
Okay.
because that is a lesson that the universe beat me with a lesson stick several times over my head. It was like, wow, you're dumb.
It was
Let's-
really a lesson bat, if we're being honest.
Really, you know when people go in the little batting cages and the baseball comes out and they're like, ah,
Yeah.
and they're not hitting anything, they're just running for their life
Yes.
and their safety.
Yes.
That's me with friendship boundaries. I just get hit and I'd be like, ah, of course I cry, and I don't understand like why the baseballs would do that to me. And people were like, no, dummy, you're the one who got in the cage.
In the cage with the
Yep.
baseballs without a
So-
bat.
I had to stop asking the question, why doth these baseball hurts me? And ask the questions, why am I playing baseball? I don't even like this game. So, I'm going to say 2-3 years ago, my life was a cesspool of depression and anxiety. Back was jacked up from a car accident. Couldn't work my job, had insomnia. It was a really terrible time. I was going through it. But there were 3 people in my life who, if you would have told me these people would not be in my life anymore, I would say, blasphemy. Because these were like my ride or dies, my A1 since day ones. But they're gone now.
Yeah.
And I had to learn the hard way that I had something very similar in all these friendships.
What was that?
That they were all structured around me being a superhuman friend. And I had not established any boundaries when it came to me not being okay.
Yeah.
I had set, unfortunately, a precedent that anytime I was going through something, that I would bite my tongue and swallow my pride and hurt and tears and snot.
No.
Phlegm. And just be there for them, regardless of what was going on. So, when I started going to therapy, and I just want to thank my cosmic twin for helping me get to the right therapist, because I went through like 8.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that in an episode.
Yeah, our next series, we gonna drippity drop some things for
Drop
you.
some knowledge and some information.
But I met with my therapist, and I'm sitting in her office, and I'm crying and snotting as I usually do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm losing all my friends. What do? I feel broken. I feel directionless. I don't have any support. And she went on the whiteboard. No, it wasn't a whiteboard. It was a big piece of paper. But anyway, it was a big piece of paper she had stuck on the wall. And she said, okay, tell me what these friends do for you. And I'm like, oh, they're fun. And she's like, okay, what else? They make me laugh. Okay, what else? They are I don't know. And then she's like, well, tell me what you do for them then. And the list was overflowing of things. And I said, oh, I think I see what you're trying to tell me. Oh no, it's unbalanced. So I had to reevaluate.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I had to reevaluate how I was structuring my friendships.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized I had 2 or 3 really, really good friends that I was not giving the proper attention to because they didn't need me necessarily to be a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I could just kind of exist around them and it was okay. So I the boundaries that I didn't have with these other people, I actually didn't have to make with these really good friends of mine. Mm-hmm. It just was very organic that when I wasn't okay, there was no explanation of why I wasn't okay. There was no, okay, but I'm not okay too, so I need you to be there for me. Because that is the perpetual cycle that I had with these friends. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, well, I'm sad too. Okay, but I want to be left alone when I'm sad. And you want to talk. And we do not have these same things. And it was just very, very stressful. I remember literally sobbing on the phone with a friend because I hadn't been there for her. I felt like she really threw me under the bus and made me feel like a terrible friend. Mm-hmm. And I have been there for her through a lot. And you know who I'm talking about. But there is so much that happened in her life. And I try to be there no matter what. Yeah. Always be there for her. Always have her back. Even if she was wrong, just to be there for her. If she needed money, skirt, I got you money. You need me to pull up, skirt, I pull up. Like, whatever you needed me to do, if I had the ability to do it, I would do it.
You were her ride or die.
Hands down.
Yeah.
But she couldn't reciprocate that. And I told myself I was okay with that. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Fast forward to me not being okay. She had never known a moment in our friendship where I wasn't okay and where I couldn't be there for her. Yeah. So even though we were both going through really, really awful things at the same time, depression does not make you want to interact with people. Depression is not just sadness. It's not like, oh, we are all having a bad day at work. Let's all talk about it. This is, I feel like I don't want to open my eyes again. Yeah. So I'm going to go in my room and sleep. Because that is as close to it as I can get before I have to go to work again tomorrow. Like that is like, that was what I did to cope at that time.
Yeah.
I just slept and I just wanted to be left alone. And she couldn't understand that because I'd always been there. There was no time where I didn't make myself available, even if I had to leave work early, even if I had to go on a lunch and use my whole lunch break to talk to her. Like, I sacrificed all of my time to make sure she was okay. So when I wasn't able to do that anymore, she basically gave me an ultimatum. She was like, you need to step up as a friend or I don't know you no more. And I pleaded and I cried with this person. I was just like, I'm not okay right now. I'm not healthy. And it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And to this day, me and that person have not spoken,
reconciled or anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because there were a lot of other relationships tied to her that I don't have anymore. I don't feel right trying to still hold on to those relationships, but that was a big lesson in boundaries for me where I'm just like, sometimes you need, even if you want to be the best friend possible, you always want to be there. You can't.
Yeah.
And you need to establish that sometimes upfront with people who are maybe codependent. And maybe they're working on it. Maybe it's not them just being codependent and just latching on people to suck them dry. Like maybe they actually are still trying to work through their codependency. Yeah. But you have to put that boundary up and say, hey, look, this is how I operate. these are my needs. And if you can't respect these needs, that's okay. It took me a year to really understand that I was not meeting her needs, even though I felt like she owed me more chances because I gave her a lot and I was very patient with her. I didn't feel like I got that back from her. But is it right for me to hold her ransom in a friendship where she feels like her needs are not being met? And it's not.
Yeah.
So boundaries go both ways. Sometimes the boundary is for you to protect yourself, and sometimes you run face first into somebody else's boundary, and you have to reconcile with that. But friendships are tough, but I have really good people in my circle right now.
Yeah.
So I've through therapy I've been able to see my red flags. Like, that's codependency, girl. You need to back all the way up, all the way.
You are so funny.
So, but that is my experience with friendships.
It sounds like you've grown.
Very painful growth. It was very, very painful. It is not a lesson I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
But I know that I've not made good judgment calls when it comes to friends. You grow up, you're taught, be friends with everybody, be nice to everybody. And then you automatically like zoom into adulthood and everybody's not your friend. Okay, but you told me they were. So which one is it?
Tests your friendships.
So yeah, it's been a struggle, but we're in a good space now. So what about you, friend? How? She got her preacher cloth wiping her forehead. Oof.
Lord have mercy.
Let us get into it.
So, family.
Oof.
I'm going through a very weird time with my immediate family because I feel like setting boundaries as an adult with people that raise you and like know you better than you know yourself, it's like offensive to them.
Yeah.
Like when you set those boundaries, they're just like, what? What? I can do whatever. I can say whatever I want.
I'll wipe your butt.
So thank you. I appreciate that. But that does not mean you could talk to me anyway anymore. That's not okay.
Oh, why not?
I have feelings. That's why.
Feelings? I didn't raise you to have feelings.
And that is the biggest problem. It's like when you become an adult, your feelings as an adult aren't respected because you're still viewed as a child.
A word.
And I'm in this very awkward place in my life where I'm asserting my boundaries. I'm standing firm in them. But I really have to tread lightly because I don't want to be disrespectful, or at least overtly disrespectful.
Right.
And I don't want to seem ungrateful, but certain things have never been okay with me. And I'm just now coming into my own where I'm like, certain things are unacceptable. You know, when 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I was not in a position to say that.
Right.
I am now. And it's a very uncomfortable time that I'm in with my family, setting these boundaries and sticking to them, because I'm sticking to my boundaries. That means you'll see me less.
Right.
I will create space in order to protect my peace.
So is that your go-to when your boundary is disregarded?
Yeah. When my boundary is crossed, I distance myself.
Okay.
And it comes off as cold and I don't know if it comes off as heartless, but it might. I mean, you feel my distance.
Right.
If I put some space between us, whether you're a family member, your friend, whatever, I am a
ball of sunshine.
I'm a ball of sunshine, and when I create space, my absence is noticed. And
I definitely noticed. I'd be like, where my friend?
Yeah.
Why we not out drinking?
Quarantine.
Literally, I think about moments where I want to go have fun, and I'm like, twin, what are you doing? Let's go out. But no,
You're
because,
Jackson.
you know,
Yeah.
2020 is being disinfected in
What is going out?
in a
I don't
dirty public restroom.
I don't understand. The liquor store is open. We can do that and then go home.
We can take a walk.
We can take a hike.
That's our...
Yeah, that's been nice. But anyway, so I'm just at this weird crossroads where it's just like, I'm not trying to be bitchy, but certain things are unacceptable, and I'm more comfortable the older I get saying that and sticking to it. Like, if you can't abide by that boundary, and I'm not like this porcelain doll that just gets offended by everything.
Right.
It's very big things that have to happen for you to cross my boundaries. So if you can't even respect a big old boundary, I'm not going to feel comfortable with these like little vulnerabilities I might have with you.
Right.
I'll create space to protect myself because you're showing that you're unreliable at taking me seriously. You're showing that it's very easy for you to disregard my feelings.
Right.
You're showing that you're very dismissive. You know, I'm doing this new thing where I'm sitting in my feelings.
Yes.
Instead of running, getting multiple distractions. I am literally like in the living room tearing up. And I'm not even the crying twin.
I'm glad that we can cry together sometimes.
Yeah.
We have not cried together.
We haven't
actually.
cried together, but one time we'll sync up. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, but no, I've been really sitting in my feelings and like just very clearly articulating how certain things are affecting me and how I want those things to be addressed or changed or what have you. Just putting it out there, just like, hey, this is bothering me. I'm doing that with my family, and they're just kind of like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah.
Did it sound like a joke?
I wasn't planning on being funny. I don't know why you think I'm being funny.
Am I a joke to you?
Am I a joke?
Like, how do you feel that? I know Black people, we always have shared experiences. Like, we were all raised by the same two people in our life, like our grandmother and our mom or whatever. But how do you feel that Black culture or the culture of our parents or grandparents' generation plays into establishing boundaries? I think that's been a significant hurdle for even if you're maybe you even just have military parents. Military parents can be tough because they're very used to a certain chain of command. And when you start becoming older and you feel emboldened to say, my feelings matter, please don't do this. It can be, it can sometimes just short circuit them because it's just something they're not used to.
It shocks their system. It's just like, what is this child doing speaking?
Disrespect. Like, no, I'm an adult now. It's not disrespect.
I'm not being disrespectful, but I can be. No, I think it plays a huge role because, you know, and not to, generalize anybody, but certain generations, our parents' generations, therapy is not something, that's not their first option.
Right.
That's like last resort. Oh, something's got to be wrong for me to go to therapy. No. Like, I feel like if our parents' generations went to therapy, bro, we would be unstoppable.
One of my parents just started going to therapy, and I think it's been really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And I mean, you obviously can think about lost time. I think about that for myself as far as therapy, what I would have been able to do differently had I had the tools.
Yeah.
And that's something that my parent discussed with me, saying, I have tools now. And that's what helps. Some people think therapy is just going in there, telling all your business and crying and leaving. No, you get homework.
Yeah.
You have things you have to work on. And I think that would have been a really, really, I know there's a few people in my family who would benefit so much from therapy, but they're just not ready to take that step. And if you go to therapy and you're not ready for that to do the work, it's not going to work. You're just going to waste your time and money. But
the thing is, those tools are necessary to stay within your lane called life. Like, I think if my family just had the tools to be able to communicate why they're so taken aback by me expressing how I feel, then we can unpack that together. But because there's no tools there, it's like defensive
Right.
immediately. How dare you? This is my house. Okay, I'm gonna leave then. Like, I will
Deuces.
bye. Like, that's fine. If you don't want to work at it, that's cool. I'm just letting you know that there is a problem in the atmosphere. If you want to address it, I would love that. But if you are not willing to do that work, okay.
Now, that brings up a very, very interesting thing that I have to ask you.
Sure.
How do you... I've had this happen personally. We've had a disagreement or miscommunication about something, and the person just sidesteps that and pretends like it's a new day. Nothing that happened yesterday happened.
Okay, let's change the subject. No.
We're on this subject. We weren't finished.
We're not done with this subject. This is the subject we need to talk about. That really grinds my gears. Honestly, that makes me want to fight. I want to fight you. I don't care who you are.
If you book that.
like, you don't have to be that dismissive of somebody else's feelings just because the conversation is uncomfortable.
And it does seem blatantly disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
Because for you to decide that you just want to move on, you're acknowledging that there's an issue and that you just don't want to deal with it. Excuse me?
Just want to be like, excuse me.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
Rude. Rude. Off job.
Honestly, it's the rudest thing ever. Like, it's just, I hate that. And when it's your family, it's really, really difficult because...
And you can't cut them off.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you can, but...
Yeah, you can. You can.
You always feel the need to be a little more gracious with your family.
And
because they're always going to be your family.
But that grace impedes on your boundaries. Often.
It does.
I have experienced that myself in every aspect of my life, really, honestly.
No.
I give a lot of grace to people, and
Lady Grace.
my overall boundaries end up getting crossed often. Like, those big moments,
Right.
they happen, and people think that because I gave them grace, they could do it again.
Right.
But they can't.
Or that it didn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
If I can have a conversation, there were a few moments, significant moments in my life where I felt that my family didn't show up for me the way that I wanted them to. I felt very alone. Of course, cried.
You cried.
Cry me a river. I cried. I think one of our mutual friends actually has a really solid memory of one event that just broke my heart. And the feedback that I've gotten about my family not being there, some of it was just an apology, and you can't do much.
Yeah.
Like, they can try not to do it again, but if something happens or they do something, they cross your boundary, and it's something that, like I said in a previous episode, my apology language is retribution. There are situations where nothing can be done.
Yeah.
If something is told to you in confidence and somebody spills your beans, that can't be undone. There's no retribution that can happen there. Yep. Unless I'm like, you tell them a secret of yours. I'm telling everybody. Like, you can't do that. So there's quite a few situations for me personally with family where I've had to really... Forgiving somebody is a daily thing. That's not something that you want and done. So having to remember, this hurt me. I did not like it, but this happened. I need to be able to acknowledge this and keep going.
Yeah.
And there were some moments where I had friends show up for me. There were some moments where I resolved to myself, you know what? I'm going to just do everything by myself, because if I feel like I got to be out here with no support, and that's really how it feels when your boundaries are crossed. It feels like you don't have support. You don't have anybody in your corner because you're being assaulted from people that you love.
Oh, man. The assaults on your boundaries.
And it's just like, well, who am I supposed to talk to now?
Yeah, you just end up isolating yourself, and that just deepens your false sense of security and your place in this world.
And makes it hard for you to have relationships in the future.
There's layers to this. Like
an onion.
When you don't respect somebody's boundaries, you are messing with their whole life because they have to move, they'll move through life differently. They're like, oh, well, maybe I'll just accept this because everybody does. No, don't put people in that type of position. Don't make people want to be accepting of emotional abuse. And honestly,
That's what it is.
like, that's not okay.
Definitely when I want to say it was a little bit after I graduated from, what is that place? College. University. It sounds like it was a really long time ago because I can't remember. But
It's okay.
I remember when I graduated, I started reading up on a lot of articles. That was really when I was starting to be aware of my mental state, that I was not okay. And I did dabble in a little bit of therapy, counseling during that time. But I was reading these articles about how people's tells when they have had emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And I'm reading this list and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my whole personality. Oh no.
Yep.
And it's very eye-opening. And when I start seeing it in myself, I started seeing it in my friends as well. And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
People who apologize all the time and apologize for things that don't make sense and that are not their fault.
Yes.
I had a friend and I felt so bad because it was shortly after I read that article, and I asked her, I was like, can I just give you a hug? Because I could see all of it plain as day. And that's something that I think our parents' generation had to suffer through, honestly. And with many of our parents' generation not having, you know, there's also, like you said, other layers to this, especially, you know, growing up Black in this country. You didn't have time to be like, oh, let's focus on your feelings. No, we have to focus on keeping you alive.
Yeah. Survival mode all the time.
Exactly. So you didn't have these down moments to kind of
sit in your feelings.
Yeah, sit in your feelings or sit and discuss things because there were more important things to worry about.
Yeah.
Your only job is school. Why are you crying? I don't want to hear it. Go do your stuff.
Bro,
So
I hate that sentence with a Why are you so upset? You just go to school.
School is hard.
Huh?
School is stressful.
Excuse me.
I don't like school, actually.
I don't like it here. I want to leave, but I can't. And I'm going to die with my dad.
Honestly.
Like, I'm listing all negative things.
Our grandparents who, like, dropped out at, like, 7th grade or 4th grade.
I get it.
Smart choice.
It's okay.
Good move.
You're fine. You're fine now.
Like, oops.
Not advocating dropping out at all. Education is important.
Do what you gotta do. Learn a skill. Learn a skill instead.
Trade, skills, all them things.
But
yeah,
I think with family it's a little more difficult than it is friends. So you tackled that pretty down good.
I mean, I'm trying. It's a work in progress. I still get the aftershock of my distance on me. Like, I feel it. I miss, you know, the times that were positive.
Yeah.
But there's just been so much negativity, and I'm so adamant about not having additional negativity in my life at this moment. Nothing personal. It's just I've been drowning in negativity for so long. And I feel like I owe it to myself to just have some peace, hold on to it wherever I could find it. And if that's kind of far away, I'm genuinely wholeheartedly sorry, but that's how it's going to have to be because my boundaries aren't being respected.
And you can still love people. Excuse me. You can still love people and have your boundaries intact. I definitely, I'll say from a brother.
Sorry, her brother's a jerk.
Throw her out the window. My brother, I don't talk to him that often. I maybe will talk to him
once a year.
My birthday and his birthday, and usually that's it. If there's nothing really interesting going on in the anime world, or we actually don't need anything from each other, we will talk to each other twice a year on each other's birthday.
That's so fun.
That's it. But I love him. We don't have to talk every day for him to know that I got love for him.
Yeah.
I don't think my brother has ever violated a boundary of mine.
He's too chill for that.
He really is. When he was growing up, he was angry. He's an angry black man. Like, why are you so mad? Why you come out so angry? But now he's just, I feel like the Hulk could come and flip his car onto, I don't know, his favorite puppy. And he would be like, man, that's unfortunate.
That's interesting. Okay. I guess I
Wow.
gotta get a new puppy.
The Hulk came out here, though. That's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
That's pretty much him in a nutshell. So I think some people see space and distance as, oh, I'm being terrible, or I'm intentionally trying to hurt somebody. And it's none of those things.
Yeah.
Space is a preservation thing.
Yeah.
So if you're putting space between yourself and a family member to hurt them, you might need to rethink why you're doing what you're doing. Because the goal isn't to, oh, you stepped all over my boundary and now I want you to feel upset too. The goal is, hey, you crossed my boundary. This is how this made me feel. This is what I'm doing right now. Let's sync up and figure out a way to handle this.
Yeah.
I have quite a few family members that take silence as punishment, and it's not.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to explain that to someone when they are very interactive. And like I said, I'm an introvert. I'm not. So if you get one card from me or you get one text from me, know that I thought about it wholeheartedly and I reached out to you because you were on my mind and my heart and I love you. But I still might not like you. Like,
That's real though.
I definitely have one family member in particular I do not like right now. I really do not like.
But you'll always love.
I will always love that person.
Yeah.
And even though we don't agree, even though I don't feel like there is mutual respect between us, which is very frustrating, even though I feel like my boundary was tested the last few times we were together in person, I still have to have love for that person.
Yeah.
If anybody else comes and tries that person, you can get the claws, you can get these paws, you can get these hands.
Or this.
They're ready to eat for everyone.
Wow. Not eat forever.
So I'm very protective over my family in the sense that, you're not going to try anybody in my family just because I don't rock with them right now.
Yeah.
But we still got an issue. I'm not about to go, oh, okay. Yeah, I ain't going to let so-and-so talk to you like that. Okay, thanks for having my back. You're welcome. But we still got things to
still
discuss.
have problems.
So I'll catch you later.
So when you have the time,
Yeah.
I didn't like when you.
Yeah, we can hash it out right now, or I can just link up with you again when somebody tries you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. God, it's so hard.
Let me ask you, do you have boundaries? I'm very overprotective of certain family members now. Now that we on that topic.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about becoming an adult that my body was like, you come from my mama.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd be ready to fight, and I don't even know if I got hands.
I didn't even know that was in me. Like, something very minor, kind of stupid popped off. And my mom was just, dragged into it and bulldozed. And I was like, oh, what we're not going to do is just talk about my mom. We're not going to do that. You might have been able to do that when I wasn't born, but I'm born.
Yeah.
You can't do that in my
Sorry.
presence. No, not even when I'm gone. Like, you're not mistreating her.
Literally let my mom call me and tell me some stuff went down. Who?
Oh. I'm not a killer, but don't test me.
Whatever you do, sis. like, no, you not finna, no.
Yeah, no. Like, I am protective, but it has to be.
I'm like that about my brother, too. I was ready to.
It's not anything. Like, you know how you're protective of me if we're in a crowd of people and
Yes.
people are like, oh, look at that small human. I'm gonna flick
I really.
like you were very anxious when I'm in crowds, but I'm good. I'm chilling.
I get triggered. I literally get triggered on other people's behalf, and I'd be ready to be a whole linebacker out here. Bish, move! Like,
I'm not overprotective like that.
I am.
Yeah, no. Mine is like there has to be not necessarily an egregious offense, but like if there's some drama that a loved one of mine is being dragged into and being lied on, I will act accordingly, check you, and make sure you know that that is unacceptable.
You know how everybody was looking at Minneapolis when they started rioting? Like,
Yes.
we didn't know y'all had that fire.
Yeah.
That's me.
Literally.
That is me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, literally. You did good. You did good. I almost missed it. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Now, you said this about some people in your family, but I don't jump until they say jump. I will ask questions
No, I'll jump.
before I get involved because I have some people in my family that are very passive and they don't want no smoke. It really doesn't matter to them that much. I take it probably harder than they do. So I will, I'm mad. I'm about to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Thinking about LMNOP. But I'm going to just ask you which part you want me to do. And they'll be like, oh, just do X.
That's interesting.
Just X. I gave you a whole alphabet. No, just X is fine.
Okay. So I think I
have to work on my boundaries when it comes to being overprotective. And then I feel like I'm raising both of my parents right now. And they both be doing wild stuff. I'm just like, my dad be like, oh, I went out for a run today.
Why?
Who went out for a run today? What you doing? Why you?
It's not good for you. You can't be running.
These children don't listen.
Your foot just went
He
through.
thinks he is a grown adult. I gotta come over there and be like, what? He
Yeah.
slipped up one time. He's like, yeah, I went for a walk. And then later he's like, yeah, when I went for my jog. Huh? Was it a walk or a jog? Which way you do? So, both my parents. The other one too. I made workout equipment. Why? Why are you doing that? Nobody told you to do that. Sit down. Go sit down somewhere.
All these parents she is describing should not be doing high intensity workouts.
I don't know who they think they are. Like, I really feel like a black mom. I didn't need to have kids. My parents are my kids now.
Oh,
Go ahead and sit down somewhere. Don't touch nothing.
oh God! It's funny how the roles reverse when you're an adult.
Yeah.
When you're an adult child and your parents are like parent children.
Yeah. Like, you guys are wildin'. Why y'all not making sense? You raised me to make sense. Why you not making sense?
Like literally, you are not doing the things that you taught me to do. I don't understand.
Like, they be going out and stuff. I'm like, where you going?
Why are you going? It's a pandemic.
I definitely used to actually text my mom's friends and be like, no, she can't come out to play tonight. She got work tomorrow.
Damn.
She got kids. No! Not up in here.
That's your overprotective side.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't help it. It comes out, it just manifests. It's like my stand. JoJo fans out there. It's my stand. It comes out there to protect me. Yeah, it's my anime engineer.
Audio engineer, anime.
So, yeah, it just comes out. I can't control what it comes out. It just does, and it does what it needs to do. And I'd be like, okay, okay.
Yeah, mine's just like, I'm gonna correct this problem immediately. That's my protective, like my overprotection, I guess, of family members. Like, because that one incident where it was like my mom got dragged into some nonsense, just straight up lying on my mama, and I'm like,
what we not gonna do is
I will flip this. Don't let the size fool you. Don't let this size, like, I will lose
I'm not a
it.
killer, but don't test me.
Literally, that is my mantra. Like, because it's in me on both sides. I got crazy on both sides.
You like the I'm like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. I'm a fight. I'm probably not good at it, and I'm gonna cry the entire time.
Am I Nesco? No, I'm not Nesco.
You can be Nesco.
Who
Nesco.
did you say I was? Who were you gonna think?
No, that's too late. I'm gonna just. That one works.
It's the dude with
Go.
the pig head, isn't it?
No,
That crazy
Inosuke.
one.
No, he's cool. I was gonna say the one with the lightning that be scared all the time. No, I'm just kidding. That's not you. I was gonna say
You called me a weenie.
that you was
Hut Junior.
Winnie Junior. You know what? That's how it works. That works for you.
Nesco or
Yeah.
Nescafe?
No, Nesco. Like,
yeah.
don't make me pop the box on you.
Yeah, I gotta keep my muzzle on at all times. I need to simmer in my box.
You know what? That's facts. That's facts. She's sweet. She cute when she's small. But don't test her.
Yeah,
She a demon out here.
I am a demon.
So
yeah.
I respect it. I cry and fight. Probably not that good. You good backup.
Yeah.
And I could carry you on my back. Boom.
That is perfect. We need to get little characters based off the Demon Slayer characters.
Actually, I know Halloween's probably gonna be a side, but we could still.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Boom.
All right, this episode is long, so let's jump into our next segment.
Our next segment.
Segment.
Okay. So.
That was not 5 seconds.
It wasn't.
That was like.
I am not sober right now, so.
Okay. All right, party twin.
You wanna try this again?
Okay, let's just jump into it.
All right.
So we said there was gonna be a next segment.
Psych.
Not. So the purpose of the safe space is for you guys to converse with us.
Yeah.
And nobody's done that, so there's no safe space this week.
Oh, you sound kind of mad, twin.
No,
you mad?
I'm not.
You big mad or medium mad?
I'm a little mad.
Medium mad.
Because I can like see when you leave us on red, and I'm just like, wow, you can't answer a
Guys,
question.
don't hurt our feelings like that. Just don't look at it then, because it hurts us, and then we have to use all of safe space to talk trash about you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't want to talk about our galaxies. Come on now.
Come on, guys.
Be talkative galaxies.
Talk to us.
It's okay.
We love you.
We love you. It's okay. Okay.
But so we're gonna skip our safe space.
Yeah, we're gonna skip the safe space and jump into the trigger warning.
Trigger.
What do we talk about next episode?
So in the next episode, I'm looking down at my notes. Navigating the health system.
Oh wow.
With mental health issues.
Damn, that's long.
Yeah. So part 1 is gonna be about self-diagnosis and possibly actual diagnosis. We're just gonna talk about the diagnoses. So if you are having a difficult time, you can probably listen to this and figure out like, maybe I need to go ahead and get myself diagnosed.
Maybe I need to go to therapy.
And you will also hear our experiences with self-diagnosis and actual diagnosis. I have a really fun story for that. So, but trigger warning for anybody who is still in this part of their journey. The things that might be said in the next episode literally might be triggering. So.
Literally, we're going to get into some deep issues. So, if you are unable to hear, unable to receive that message because you're not in the right space, we totally understand.
Yep. And we will try to drop something on our socials just to give you the tidbits that we would like to impart to you guys. So if this is not one you can listen to, at least we can throw you some helpful things out there.
Absolutely. Of course. All right.
But
on that note, remember life is a bitch.
It is. And she's the one who's like twice removed from your family but comes in and still want to tell you what to do, and you're like, who is you?
Who is you?
Who is you?
Who is you? Like,
yeah, ignore her. We don't know who she is. We don't even... Who are you? Get out the house. I'm calling the police. Just kidding. Don't call the police on black people. Anyway. Thanks, little galaxies.
Thank you so much for listening.
We will see you next week.
Be kind.
Be kind to yourself and others.
Be beautiful.
Be gorgeous. And be subscribing to our stuff.
Please be subscribing and please commenting and inboxing.
And not leaving us on red.
Yeah, don't leave us on red.
We don't talk about it again, so y'all better get on your stuff.
I anticipate it happening again because I'm used to disappointment, but whatever.
Don't disappoint my twin, okay? Did you hear this? You guys need to step up now. Gosh. Okay, guys.
Okay, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.